So thanks everybody for watching. We've been asked for quite a while now, could we do a little tutorial on our under tension fret leveling system. And I'd say the need for this is if you're a keen guitarist and you have a number of guitars and you want to be 100% sure that you've got the best out of them in terms of their sound, in terms of their playability, this is going to meet that need. It does it with three very key advantages. Now those advantages first of all are that it's so DIY friendly, and it's DIY friendly because when you're using this tool you've got this engineered leveling beam that spans the whole length of the frets, so you really can't go wrong. You can't, take too much off some frets and not enough another, because you're spanning the whole length of the fretboard. Second advantage is accuracy, because we're going to do this whilst this neck is under tension. Consistently you'll find that this area here has a little bit of a hump, and it's due to the S-curve that happens when a neck is under tension. So we're dealing with those variations, and that means that you're getting the best accuracy. So one, DIY friendly; two, really accurate; third is cost. It is so cost effective, and this is what it includes. You basically have it delivered in this nice storage tube. Inside here you get a leveling beam, which on the one side has got this emery paper. This one you get a spare piece of emery cloth. You get a couple of items in here. Basically a small piece of maple, that's the first thing we're going to use, and these three little metal spacers. What we do with this maple is it's got a little curve on one side and it's got a little slope on the other. The first thing we do is just slide this so that the strings of the guitar are lifted up above, but you'll see that the point at which the strings are catching this piece of wood is the same as the front of the nut, so we're not changing the scale length at all. Little spacers that come with it, we put them on first fret, something like the 6th fret or 7th fret, and then one down the bottom here. And so that when we place this bar onto those little spacers there, now to start with, although you can't see it from there, you'll see that there's a little gap under this one, because we have a little bit of relief on this guitar. Let's have a little look at what we got. At this end of the guitar we're basically clamped to a bench. There's a couple of business cards underneath the guitar, just kind of, equivalent to the thickness of the neck plate. We've got a couple of business cards on the top, and you can see that I've got the leveling beam sat on these three little metal spacers, and if I put a little light underneath from the other side, at the moment, I don't know if you can see that, at the moment we've got a bit of a gap between that one. Alright, Katie, could you just hold that light for me at that side? Right, well, just try not to knock the neck of the guitar. And you see what we've got to do, this is the hardest bit of it. We've got to just clamp down, just keep that, clamp down until we get it straight, so that effectively that gap disappears. If you go too far you'll see a gap start on this end. If you can put the light behind the one at the front there, Katie, you see now that there's a gap starting at that end. So a clamp at this end, I've got a clamp at that end, and all I've done is I've just kept putting in the right mix of business cards until we are absolutely confident that, if you can borrow your camera a second, Katie, that looking down there's no gap between the bar and that spacer. There's no gap between the bar and that spacer, and obviously there's no gap between the bar and that spacer. So we have a straight line in between those 3 points, but we still have all of the usual variations that occur with the neck. Now, all you do, that's it, that's the hard bit done. This thing clamps to the desk, it's held nice and firm. All we do is we get ourselves comfy, slide it under the first two strings to start with. Just get yourself so you can apply just a little bit of pressure. Just run this tool back and forth. That'll do to start with. Now I put some Nobo marker. Come and have a look up here, Katie. I put some Nobo marker, and you can see catching that fret, that fret, that fret, not catching it quite as much there, yeah, on the Nobo marker, but the majority of the frets has been taken off here. So exactly as I would expect, where you get these little variations, because we put some Nobo marker on, we can see what's happening. But I have to say this paper on this tool is incredibly efficient. And it cuts. You don't need to press hard and you don't need to spend long. Just slide across to the second string and then under there, and away we go again. You see we're taking the most off just here and just here. Go across to the third string, slot it under them strings, beautiful. Oh, let's get him out. Fourth string. Okay, pull it out. Last string from this side, the fifth string. Yeah, nice and easy. So that, we'll have a little look. So, looking at it, I can see across. If there's any frets at all that we just haven't quite caught yet, it's these ones here. But we're close, so this, you know, doesn't need a lot of leveling, but it proves that these variations occur, and this tool sorts them out for you. So I'm just going to come back right from the other side. And back this way. So this paper really cuts beautifully, so you'll be surprised how quickly and efficiently it cuts. And there. Well, that's what makes it DIY friendly. Obviously we're working along the whole length of the fretboard, whilst we know it's clamped straight on 3 points, but with all the variations, and we just cannot get it wrong. And we also cannot damage the frets either, because of the abrasive that we're using being so, you know, easy and gentle compared to normal files. So just giving it a little bit more pressure in that area where I could see that we just need to get down a little bit more to catch these frets, and I can see that I've done that now. So that's done. No doubt that what experienced luthiers do, who still don't do this work under string tension, I know that they may compensate by taking more off in this area. They just sort of have that experience, and all that, that's fantastic. Of course, what's nice about this approach, if we have a look, Katie, you'll see that these frets where we've taken a bit more off, these ones in particular here, it's done it for us. So we really do have the ability now to take out this piece of maple, unclamp the guitar, it'll settle with its bit of usual relief, and we'll have what basically is a perfect co-planar set of points now, so that the playability, action and everything can be set to be as good as it can be. And that's really it. Thanks for watching.